Have you ever heard of an airport that plays Russian roulette with airplanes? Welcome to Patna, the capital of Bihar. And this is Patna Airport, also called J. Prakash Narayan International Airport. Every day, planes land and take off from here. At first glance, it looks like your usual airport, but trust me, it's anything but. You see, this airport was never meant for commercial aviation. It was designed as a military airfield during the British Raj and was used for training pilots. It was only after India got its independence that this place started being used for civilian flights. But since not much development took place after that, the runway is way too short. For a typical commercial aircraft, a runway needs to be at least 11,000 feet long. But this one is just 8,600 feet long. That means when a plane lands here, it has very little space left to stop. On the other side, things are slightly better. There's a row of trees and a canal, but even a small mistake can spell disaster here. Now, typically, when a plane lands, the pilot applies brakes and uses the spoilers to reduce the plane's speed. But here at Patna, they use reverse thrust. That's when the engines go into reverse and push the plane backwards, helping it slow down quickly. And if all goes well, the plane will stop well within the limits of the runway. But what if something goes wrong? Well, that's where things get scary. When a plane overshoots the runway here, it doesn't just go off the runway and crash. It falls onto the highway, usually killing everyone on board. In fact, in the year 2000, a plane did crash while landing at Patna. This plane was coming from Delhi. It was carrying 159 people. The weather was bad. Visibility was low. The pilot tried to land, but he misjudged the landing and the plane overshot the runway. It fell onto the highway below and burst into flames. Out of the 159 people on board, 54 lost their lives. This tragedy shook the entire nation, and the government ordered a high-level inquiry. The inquiry found that the airport was poorly designed. It also found that the approach to the runway was cluttered with obstacles. The report suggested two solutions. One was to lengthen the runway, the other was to shift the airport to a new location. But in the years since, nothing much has changed. Yes, the airport was given a new terminal building. They also built a new control tower and extended the runway a bit. But it's still too short for comfort, and shifting the airport is easier said than done. You see, Patna is one of the oldest inhabited places in the world. It's also one of the most densely populated cities in India. So finding a new piece of land to build an airport is easier said than done. Plus, the original plan had a lot of supporters. Patna is one of the poorest regions in the country, and many felt that shifting the airport would kill the already struggling aviation industry in the region. Even today, landing at Patna is considered a risky affair. Only the most experienced pilots are allowed to fly in and out of Patna. And when I say experienced, I don't mean the number of hours the pilot has spent in the air. I'm talking about experience with handling emergencies. Every pilot who flies in and out of Patna has to have at least 1,500 hours of flying experience. They also need a special license to fly in and out of Patna. Basically, if you're flying into Patna, you're taking your life into your hands. Over the years, many plans have been proposed to expand the Patna Airport, but so far none of them have taken off. Maybe one day the airport will be expanded, but for now, every landing here is a nail-biting affair. That's all from my side. If you enjoyed this story, stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching.